Hey everyone, this is Luminous, and you're watching MUFC versus LGD, part of the Haofeng Golden League. I'm Luminous, representing MYTV, and this is game number 2. Game number 1, we had LGD rather easily polishing off MUFC, but it could have been just a first match butterfly. I don't know if that even makes sense. Finally, we're going to see picks and bans. LGD on Sentinel, in this case, Xiao 8 doing the ban. Scourge is going to be MUFC. Chen being gotten rid of right off the bat. And that will give us a little bit more time in terms of adjusting to the game, talk about strategies, etc., etc. Shaker making it onto the ban list once again, which is rather surprising. I think last time when I did an actual commentary cast, which by the way, if you always want to watch my commentaries, you could check them out on youtube.com/LuminouStudios. I think I upload maybe 3 or 4 commentaries a week. 2 or 3, yeah. Anyways, in my last commentary that I did with 715, I realized, or I pointed out that, hey, Shaker has been being banned a lot lately. And I think, personally, I think he's being banned a lot more than he should. I mean, he's a good hero, of course. We are all familiar with what a Shaker does. Make game team fights extremely well once he pick up the Blink Dagger. Of course, pretty good laning and ganking presence as well. But making it to the ban list of the first 3 bans is rather surprising. Now, to make some logical arguments of why the Shaker is actually banned is, if you've been paying attention closely to the competitive scene for at least the past 2 or 3 weeks or so, it seems like every team is transitioning to more dual lanes. In a dual lane situation where the Shaker could get more EXP, in a dual lane situation that the Shaker could be a lot more defensive. Of course, one single Fisher against 2 hero, always a lot better in terms of helping your carry or whoever survive. In that case, with the Shaker picking up more XP, less deaths, more gold in that case, he drastically becomes a lot better as a hero. A lot of times, if we've seen in the past trialing situations where we have Shaker mid-game level 8, no dagger, barely boots, sometimes arcane if he's lucky, his effectiveness drastically decreased. Now in the case where we see more and more dual lanes, we see him being more effective because he grab more EXP, more levels, die less, be a little bit more offensive and defensive on the lane. So maybe that's why he's being banned. But still, I don't think he's worth the first 2 ban. I think heroes such as Ancient Apparition, Bat Rider, Windrunners, heroes that are being picked right now are more important in terms of being picked up. But let's look at what we got right now. We have the Bat Rider, the Windrunner, and the Vengeful Spirit against the Ancient Apparition and the Clockwork. Ancient Apparition plus Clockwork, I do like this combination before. I think WE played it last time. They conjuncted it with the Fairy Dragon, the Puck, and the Warlock, and it was the most wombo combo team fight I have seen in a long time. But the core initiation is from the Clockwork and also from the Ancient Apparition. Once you hook in, once you cock 2 or 3, the AA Ice Blast is going to just do so much damage, and not just doing the raw damage, but the preventing from the regen, preventing from the mecha heal, that is not to be underestimated at all. Now, the problem with these 2 picks at the beginning, or just the problem with the 2 heroes in general, is that these 2 heroes are not that effective before they hit at least a decent level. Of course, level 6 is the must, but I think you might need maybe even 9 or 10, maybe even 11 to be truly effective with these 2 heroes. Because, you know, a Kofi at level 2, at level 3 doesn't do anything, and of course, we all know Clockwork needs to have pretty high level in most of the spells to really deal that DPS. Of course, the stun is still going to be there, but if you want to be a truly effective teamfight hero, as I think that's what Scourge team is aiming for, they need quite a bit of level to be effective. So I'm thinking a little bit more jungling play to help out in that regard. They do pick up a Crystal Maiden, which doesn't mean too much. Crystal Maiden could definitely go into the jungle in conjunction with another hero. Enigma, it comes to mind right now if we see Chen and Enchantress being both banned, but that might be a little bit surprising. I've never seen MUFC do double jungle at all. So, well, they did last game a little bit, and then the Venomancer was forced to be pulled out of the lane. But you guys get my point. What I'm trying to say is these 2 heroes need the EXP, and let's see if MUFC is trying to kind of pick in a way that will give them the most EXP as possible. Meanwhile, if we're looking at LGD's lineup right now, I like this lineup a little bit more. They are a lot more mobile. Of course, if Firefly cuts through trees, so he makes ganking, especially the styling, a lot easier. We're going to see the Bat Rider, he could always go in from this path and cut through the trees and lasso and then pull out. Like, that would be a very good ganking path. Same thing around here as well. So Of course, the swap is always there, the win run is always there, a lot of range as well. In terms of any long drawn-out Roshan engagement, I think LG, just judging from the first 3 pick, would have the advantage. They always have the tier for sight, they always have the power shot for sight as well. And I think LGD remembered a little bit of a W's play, banning the Fairy Dragon right now, because if the clock and AA initiation was not devastating enough, if you add a Dream Call in that regard, oh my god, it's gonna get ugly. And so maybe that was the ban against the Puck. Although there's a lot more really really strong AoE heroes still within the pool. Enigma comes to mind. Maybe they're not really that afraid. The Enigma, because they have 2 spells that could go through BKB that could really cancel the Black Hole fairly easily. Well, of course, I'm talking about the Swap and the Flaming Lasso, so they're not really maybe that worried about the what you call it, Enigma. Yes. Surprising that neither team has picked up the Anti-Mage yet. Spectre's still in the pool as well. Weaver being banned, and I think Weaver is a hero that I have pointed out in the recent games. I have not seen Weaver win a single game. Nope, nada. Have not seen Weaver win a single game, and I apologize if that comes off as a spoiler for anyone. But I think the problem with Weaver as a hero and problem with picking Weaver in general is that Weaver doesn't give you enough damage unless you get mega stacked at him. But if you get mega stacked on any other carry hero, like it pretty much comes down to the same thing. Weaver's damage output really comes down to having a swarm up for a long time, and then having that Radiance going in doing crazy amount of damage. But nowadays, like, because the metagame is so nuke heavy, it forces the Weaver to get some sort of survival item. In fact, 2 or 3 survival items. Oftentimes we see String Treads, we see Hood, we see Vitality Booster being claimed on the Weaver, and then he goes his Radiance. And by that time, yeah, you're going to finish your Radiance, but the enemy team will have Mecha up, they will have Bracer up, they have Django up. So they have a lot of items in terms of surviving against the Weaver. So in most cases, I feel like Weaver does not do enough damage. So I'm not really sure why teams are even picking him. Of course, it definitely has his own place in the game. Very, very strong laning hero against most lanes. And it's still neither team picking up Anti-Mage right now. We do see Lycan being claimed by LGD, which is going to be a very, very strong pushing hero. We're most likely going to see ZSMJ on that Lycan picking up a early Treads and then into a what is that item? Medallion of Courage. In conjunction with that tier, we're going to see minus 11 armor against these heroes, which, by the way, have no armor. Like, they have no armor. That is going to make them hurt really, really badly. Let's see how Scourge Team is going to adjust. If I'm picking here, in this case, I might go into a Witch Doctor, because it seems like LGD is going for those, like, in-your-face dive kind of hero, which cast can be like the most annoying thing if they're diving under a tower and you cast them like crazy. Although they have pretty good survival spells in terms of against dive. Of course, the Cog is going to be just absolutely annoying, especially against Lycan and the Bat Rider, who really has to go into melee range to do anything. So that Cog is going to be pushing them back very effectively. Of course, the Battery Assault is going to be annoying as well, because they're going to be running into that Battery Assault. So in that case, this clock pick is going to be very, very crucial. Of course, CM Nova, if he chooses to max it, that's going to be really, really important in terms of slowing and also doing quite a bit of DPS. And they're going to do a Solar Bear, which I am what? Okay, I am so confused right now, because Solar Bear as a hero, he does 2 things very well. He pushes well, and he late games team fight. Like, I'm talking about late game team fights, which we really rarely see in pro games, because most of the time game is really decided, 25, 30 minutes nowadays. So we're not going to see a second scenario. So we're going to see some sort of pushing attempt from the Solar Bear, which does not conjunct with these guys, these 3 heroes that I thought MUFC was going for a team fight lineup. But now they pick up a Solar Bear, which doesn't counter push well at all. He's also very, very weak against the Bat Rider, because you can isolate him fairly easily, and he's ridiculously weak against minus armor, because as you all know, Solar Bear has, through his true form, gains a ridiculous amount of HP. His armor value is okay, it's alright, like he actually gets pretty high armor, but like if you're up against minus 11 armor from that tier and the Medallion Courage, his HP pool is gonna be plowed through so much quicker. English is difficult normally for me, but English is a lot more difficult 6:25 in the morning. So Just gonna use that as an excuse. It's gonna miss the kill and be like, oh man, it's 630, guys. We do see Necrolite being picked up, and I suppose that's a direct counter to the Syllabar's raw HP pool and a Potom being picked up. So I'm not really understanding. Maybe it's just me being inexperienced as a caster, but I don't really see too much synergy from the Scourges here. It feels like they're picking up like, hey, you know, these heroes are good. Let's pick that up. The really big synergy was the first 3 picks, and these last 2, since it does not make much. And it looks like we are going to see a solo mid-Clockwork, and we haven't seen too much of that lately. Let's see how the Sentinel team is going to be laying it. We're going to see Xiao A on the Necrolite on the bot lane here. Vengeful Spear on the support. We're going to see Bat Rider on the mid lane, of course, and then Windrunner on the top, and then Lycan in the jungle. Yes, that should be the laning. ZSMJ doing his wolves on the scout, meanwhile Rocket scouting for the other side. Scourge team is going to be laning with the Silver on the top lane against the Windrunner. Should be a very good lane to watch in terms of really nice harassment. Meanwhile on the bot, we're going to see Scourge trialing of an AA, Potom, and a CM. That lane, I mean, I definitely see the synergy. If you ever get a cold feet proc, like your arrow's gonna hit, there's a lot of harassment going on there. But the problem is, I guess it works. Are we gonna see DDC again in the jungle being adventurous? He's being quite adventurous right now. ZSMJ not scouting the wolves right now. Should be fine. It's 400 HP, not gonna get picked off as easily and give out that plus 30 gold. The rune's going to be there, and ZSMJ right on top of it, killing off right now. So in terms of laning, in terms of this dual lane against the Venge and the Necrolite, I think the dual lane is going to be absolutely fine. Like, they're going to be fine. It really comes down to whether CM picks up the Bite and Nova. This is one of the few cases I would say, hey, maybe Bite is a little bit better. Because you're going to need... Because Nova, they actually be able to walk out of cold feet range if they react fast enough. But if you bite in cold feet and you time it well enough, then they're going to get stunned. And then you can follow up with the Potom arrow. It looks like these guys are going to be in the jungle. It looks like Eventual Sphere might be in the turbo. He actually picked up Nova first, which in contrast of what I just said about how bite and cold feet work a little bit better. Of course, the Nova gives you more AoE to work with, so maybe that's what he's going for. Definitely a lot more range to work with. Which, by the way, for maybe the less experienced Crystal Maiden players, Nova comes down to... Nova's cast range is 700, and Nova's actual AoE range is 400. So we're looking over 1,000 range in terms of casting a spell, which is ridiculous if you want to think about it. Like a hook range in terms of an AoE nuke, from AoE Snow and AoE nuke. That's why I really am a big fan of leveling up Nova. I don't think enough Crystal Maiden player does that, but let's leave that discussion for another day, or maybe later on if I have a little bit more time. And good warding, very, very good warding. Look at the amount of warding. This camp blocked off, this camp blocked off, and I think they might have used a hero to block off this camp. Just spawned a creep right now and blocked off this camp. So that just leaves the jungle absolutely bare for ZSMJ. So very, very careful planning from the Scourge team. And I really like MUFC's warding off so far. Not so much the laning though. I'm not really seeing the power of this lane. Yes, the killing potential is there, but the problem with this lane is that Ancient Aberration is a really bad roaming hero, and he's going to try to roam mid, and that's not going to work out at all. Potom and the Ancient Aberration both needs a lot of level, and if you put both of them on the same lane, and if they don't get like a bajillion kills, it's not going to work. And you can see how this Ancient Aberration being forced out of the lane. Necrolite, I guess he's can't be able to go into creep wave. Like, okay, he's got to be very careful as well. CM Bite being picked off, and quite a bit of harassment coming in from the Scourge team. Arrow's going to miss there. And now this Vengeful Spirit might be in trouble. If there's a Nova cooldown, he's very, very low. Heal being used, and that Vengeful Spirit barely comes back alive. By the way, Nova cooldown is like 12 seconds, so ridiculously short as well. So that spell is just, in my opinion, really one of the best spells in the game. It might comes off really weird, especially coming off from a support, but I think that's a very, very strong spell. But let's look at the mid lane for a little bit here. Bat Rider's got 8 and 6 in terms of CS. The Clockwork 7 and 2, so fairly close last hit, but a little bit more denies from the Bat Rider. And you would expect the Bat Rider to come out a little bit advantage against the Clockwork. Actually, the Bat Rider not stacking that much, considering that the Magic Wand is fairly empty for the Clockwork. And now he starts to stack. It looks like he's looking for a kill attempt for against the Clockwork. Both the heroes have the boots of speed, so nothing too much there. It looks like we have ZSMJ doing a little bit of look at that micro sim ZSMJ. Okay, this is definitely a sign of frustrated play, I want to say, because as at any other normal situation, would have seen ZSMJ halfway to his Vlad's treads Radiance before 20 minutes by now, like in any other scenario. But because of his jungles being warded off, and he doesn't feel safe farming here, because you never know if the Clockwork's rocketing into your jungle, jacking your creeps and lowering your health. You never know if you're gonna have a Silver Bear sending a bear scouting. The possibility is there, and he's got to be extremely careful, and he's not farming it right now. Are we just going to see Vengeful Spirit, a little bit more support there? But that's going to put the Necrolite in trouble, as he's one more hit from death. Wow, very, very close heal. It looks like the Prism made him very low as well. And we're going to see the Necrolite decides to stay here. He did pick up... Did he pick up Oreo and Status? He did pick up Status, which I'll talk about this in just a bit, as we see a little bit more dive attempt from the AA, and wow, another heal goes up. Arrow not being fired from the bottom, because maybe on cooldown still. I think definitely should have chanced it and went for the kill there. Meanwhile, we have ZSMJ on the jungle doing a little bit of farm. A very, very chain play, as we see finally DDC picking up the first blood here with the help of the Windrunner. Very well done. I apologize for missing that action. Meanwhile, a little bit on more action in the mid lane here. Clock trying to catch the Bat Rider under the fire. Never a good choice here. Actually, the Bat Rider very, very low HP. I think the Bat Rider is going to keep chasing until that Firefly runs out, in which case he's going to go for a kill. Still no hook yet. Very, very close to level 6 yet. So I'm a little bit surprised at DD being outlaned as much as he is against the Clockwork right now, or at least the Clockwork right now has quite a bit of advantage, and we're going to see Clockwork hitting to level 6 very, very quickly, and this Bat Rider has got to be very careful, especially if he doesn't have Firefly up. We do have a Ancient Aberration coming in from the side, and this is one of the problems that I think we're going to see from this Ancient Aberration in maybe 5-10 minutes right now. Once the rest of the game transition to mid game, we're going to see a level 4 AA doing nothing. Like Ancient Aberration without level 6, and more importantly level 11, level 16, he is going to be not a force to be reckoned with at all. They're going to need to arrow, and they are going to arrow, and that is the complete change that we're talking about. Very well done, and that's one kill being claimed. And this is what this trialing needs to do constantly. Like, they need to do that like 20 more times, or else this Ancient Aberration is going to be, again, staying at level 4, 15 minutes into the game, and that's never a good thing. What they do have going for them is that Potom is farming pretty well. He has actually opted for a Ring of Health, so we might see a little bit of a misery kind of build, a phase with Lincolns, which might be okay. It's going to lack the DPS a little bit, though. We'll see, though. This might just be a random Ring of Health for laning purposes, although I highly doubt that. As you see everyone running into this Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit is going to take some traps, and looks like we have an invisible AA not breaking out Invis just for the block, and now he actually might need to break out Invis for the extra damage. Well, bro. Okay, alright, where's the Kofi? He doesn't have enough mana for the Kofi, that's why. But it was a very, very, good recognition of that he didn't need to break his invis for the last hit. Maybe he want to save his invis rune for the next gank, but in either case he had to break the invis because the Bat Rider came out to assist. So DDC goes down to one more time. Hook forced to being used in that situation. I say forced to being used because I think they could have got the kill without using the hook, and it doesn't mean too much, but that also means that the hook cannot be used for the next minute or so for any type of ganks. So meanwhile, we have looks like ZSMJ has gotten a kill against the Silver Bear once again. The Necrolite being kept down very, very much so. Ancient Aberration and his back lines here still level 3, can't do too much of anything. They earlier had a ward behind this tower. Let's see if they can drop another ward down here. They are paying so much attention, so very much so attention to this Necrolite, which makes sense because that's really truly Scourge's carry. They do have the Windrunner top, but Windrunner most likely is going to go for more utility play, going for that mecha, going for the face boots, going for the force staff maybe. Going for the pipe. In either case, the utility play is going to be done by the Windrunner, whereas the true carry is going to be done by Necrolite. So I really like MUFC's attempt here. They're going to focus on the Necrolite once again, and Necrolite's going to go down. He's healing quite a bit, but the Kofi is going to tick him down. As we see, Xiao A goes down once again. MUFC playing a lot better in this game, but they got to be careful. Their own carry is not doing that well, as we saw 2 ganks going on him as well. And by ZSMJ here, that's the thing. A lot of times when we see Lycan playing, we see it's basically 4v5 till he comes out and start owning everyone. But in this case, ZSMJ like assisted in the gank against the Syllabear, which might not seem like that much, but it's pretty big deal. That actually helped out his farm a bit, because you got to keep in mind that his farm is slowed down drastically because he had to go to the enemy jungle. He was just running around for a good duration of time, wasn't able to do too much. Looks like Clock is going to come around here. Let's see if he's use this double damage in a gank, or he's going to just go back in the lane and farm a little bit. Bad Rider is going to the bot lane as well. Is he maybe looking for a rune? Yeah, I think he's looking for a rune. Because this ward was a little bit misplaced. It should be placed around here or so. In that case, it will see down this ramp and also in this location as well. But looks like he's going to just go for a gank attempt. Looks like the Ancient Aberration is going to be in trouble. There's a Flaming Lasso on him right off the bat, and I think he's going to go down. But the arrow is going to hit, tanked by the Bat Rider. They're going to focus on the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit barely lifts. No, he's going to die to the arrow of the bottom. Looks like the Bat Rider might be in trouble as well. And Bat Rider is going to turn around and get a kill on the bottom. Yes, he does get a kill on the bottom. Crystal Maiden being he's baiting so hard right now. One more hit. Yes, he's going to get the kill. And now the kill is going to turn back against the Necrolite. We do see a teleportation coming from the Windrunner. Can he get the Shackle? He's trying to... He cuts the tree behind him. That doesn't mean too much of anything. That in fact means that he can't Shackle. Finally gets the Shackle off. There's no mana left on the Necrolite. He does have 4 charges on the Magic Wand. Windrunner trying to get too much of anything. Let's see if there's going to be teleportation scroll coming out on the mid tower. No, looks like that is going to be end of the team fight. Meanwhile, very smart move. Oh, here we go. ZSMJ assisting on the ganks, going on the Lycanthrope. Lycanthrope is gonna go down to ZSMJ once again. Still very, very good move by ZSMJ, assisting those ganks, picking off the Syllabear whenever possible. I was about to say, very good move by Syllabear, noticing that there's a huge team fight going on the bot lane here. They noticed that the Windrunner ported down, so that meant 10, 15 seconds or even 30 seconds, if the team fight went well for their team, that he could have railed on this tower and did a quite significant amount of damage. But in position was the SMJ. Good teleportation from the Venge, and not only did they stop the push cold, and also got a kill on the Syllabear, which is really, really good. It looks like we do have the Clockwork teleport in. Let's see if we get anything done. He's got to be very, very careful, because the DPS output of this Lycan is starting to be a little bit dangerous. I think the ultimate is off cooldown. The ultimate is let me see. Yes, the ultimate is still on cooldown, never mind, so he can't really use this wolf form that much. But I think the Vengeful Spirit is level 6 as well. Yes, he is. So that means the swap is going to be help to assist his teammate in any situation. So I think the Scourge team is going to be okay against this Clock. It looks like the Vengeful Spirit is going to run into the Crystal Maiden here. Are they going to... Oh, there's a hook in, and this Venge is going to be dead. It's going to swap anything. I thought he was going to swap the CM, but a little bit outside swap range. Looks like the Venge is going to go down. Here comes the Ancient Aberration, and he is being in the right place at the right time, getting that EXP. And I might be harping a little bit too much, but they need this AA to hit 6. That's their entire team fight. Like, the Clock hook in, the Cog, and then the AA Ice Blast. Like, if you have a really devastating Ice Blast, the level 16 Ice Blast, level 11 Ice Blast, then you could really dictate how the team fight is going to be. You could say, like, if they take a really low damage Ice Blast, is the difference between that Lycan and the rest of the Sentinel team staying their ground and start fighting you, or it's the difference between they take the Ice Blast and they try to run. And trying to run against this Scourge team might not be the easiest thing, because you have Bottom Leap, you have Arrow, you have Nova, you have a lot of slows, you have a lot of spells as well. And Lycan in trouble. Where's the freeze bite? Where's the cold feet though? I think he's going to run out just fine. Lycan, he's actually running. He did a merry-go-around before running back in, because he actually going for the kill against the AA. AA one more hit away. AA is going to go down. AA, Wolf so OP. Wolf going to get the crit. ZSMJ chases actual Wolf in and die. I'm not too sure what was that about. Maybe he was trying to provide the aura for his wolves, because Lycan did get nerfed in the fact that your actual hero, have to be near your wolves for the wolves to get that Feral Impulse. Maybe he was trying to chase in to get the Feral Impulse bonus, or maybe he just box dragged and clicked everything. Oh, Hook barely misses from the Clock. Maybe he just box dragged and went in for the AA and then died. But looks like we have Clock picking up yet another kill right now. This Clock playing absolutely brilliant, but here comes the Blink Dagger from the Bat Rider. He's in trouble though. One more hit. No, 2 more hit. We need to have that. Yes, he did get the slow on, and they're going to get another kill. Clockwork with the Haste Rune. A lot of mana. No hook though. because he missed that one. Both Clockwork and the Bat Rider, more so on the Clockwork, playing so well in terms of ganking. And I really want to see Clockwork giving the mid lane to the Ancient Apparition. Just be like, yo, AA, just farm. Because that's what they need the AA to do. Really, they need, yes. And I think that's the game plan for MUFC. If you're going to transition like this, then I approve this. Like, this is really, really well. They're sending off the Clockwork, who's pretty farm right now, who's got quite a bit of level advantage. You know, he's level 10 already comparing to, what, a 7 Necrolite, a 6 Venge. That's really good, actually. So he's got quite a bit of level advantage. Are we going to see a perfect hook against that Necrolite where this AI Blast is going to just graze the CM, graze the Necrolite? That is going to prevent his heal, and that is going to be it. Which, by the way, I failed to point out earlier is that the Scourge team has opted to pick up a Necrolite against Ancient Apparition, as we see a perfect hook in from the Clockwork, grabbing the kill there. Very, very well done. Man, who is playing this Rabbit Trap? I can't tell, because they're using some other language, or maybe MUFC is Malaysian, I believe. Yes, I think they're Malaysian. I apologize if they're Singaporean, and I said they're Malaysian. I apologize. They're either Singaporean or Malaysian, but I'm pretty sure they're Malaysian, as we see ZSMJ going in, and there's that Lycan, what you can call it, Medallion Courage. You see the minus armor on him is just absolutely insane, in conjunction with the tier and then also the Medallion Courage. Despite the fact that ZSMJ is forced to the enemy jungle, he's farming rather decently. He's got Vlad's finish, he's got the Medallion finish. He's most likely going to go for a Tret, and then go into his first big core item, which normally I would make a guess. I would say it's going to be a BKB. Like, BKB doesn't do the best against Cogs. So, and usually ZSMJ never surprises with this. I mean, never fails to surprise with some weird ass item choice. And looks like this Lycan might be in trouble as he runs into Crystal Maiden. He might, where's the Nova? There's a hook in. They need to buy right now, and Cog. Yes, Cog within the, he's not going to be able to run out here, as we see AA Blast, a little bit more overkill. Clockwork absolutely everywhere, man. This is the first time I've seen a Clockwork this so, well, not the first time. The first time I've seen Clockwork completely decimate a game was Vigos playing a Clockwork game. That was the most beautiful Clockwork play I've seen in a long time. But this one is, it's a very, very close. He's absolutely everywhere, using the cook shot whenever off cooldown, and that's always a good sign of a strong ganger. Last game we saw DD mostly do the same thing with the Beastmaster Roar, but this game we're seeing Clockwork, as we see DD getting killed on the bot lane against, who was that? Against the Potom, I would assume? Yes, against the Potom. Potom, sorry. Didn't see any. Is this bugged? Okay, whatever. Yeah, Potom went down. I need to check on Potom's inventory set. He's got the, he's not going the Misery build. Misery build tries to make up for the damage that you're losing for getting the Lincolns by getting a Phase Boots, but now he's going for Treads, which makes me a little bit worried for the Scourge team, because Scourge team looks like they're not going to do enough damage in the mid-game here. Hook does hit, but the Cog misses, so a little bit of unfortunate play. Looks like we're going to be a little bit more harassment against this Clock. You can see that through his ganking. I want to remind the viewer that he's only got 44 CS, which is quite a low amount of CS considering that he got the solo mid lane. I'm not saying he's not farming well. I'm saying that he's not using a lot of his time to farm. Instead, he's using the time to gank. And he's ganked his way to Arcane Boot. He's ganked his way to a Vanguard. And these items are picked up a lot quicker compared to the enemy team. Looks like the Windrunner is not going to make the Mecha in this case. He's going to make the Force Staff instead, which I completely approve. You need some sort of defensive measure against this Clockwork Hook and Cogs, especially if he goes on you or the Venge. Venge is not going to swap one of his teammates into the Cog. That's never a good choice. But if you could force staff himself out, then you put the Clockwork in a very precarious situation where he just, in the middle of two teams, and he's trapped himself in. So, the Force Staff is always a good item. Meanwhile, Potom still rising away, not having any damage to speak of, and they're really this is a really, really late game Potom build. The Lincoln Sphere is supposed to keep him alive, so he could be a lot effective, as we see a little dive attempt on the Syllabare. Syllabare is going to go down, so we see Hook misses, Syllabare goes down, and now this is backing out for the entire Scourge team. Looks like they're going to make a go on that Bat Rider. Arrow is barely going to miss, but they're running under the fire, or onto the fire for a long time. Oh no, he can't blink though, because he actually, because of the trees, walked back to the wrong way here. ZSMJ trying to go onto the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden might be in trouble as these Wolf critting, but Power Shot comes in from the Windrunner, getting a kill there. Shackle Shot's going to miss there, and that should be the end of the engagement. Meanwhile, in the middle here, Venge getting some EXP against his other support counterpart, which is the Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition is level 7, Venge level 7 as well. I like both teams. They're realizing how important their support is. Of course, the Ancient Apparition dealing the huge AoE damage, and the Venge getting the swap range. It looks like the swap is going to be casted right now as we see support coming in from the Sentinel top line. Shackle Shot's going to miss though already. There's the Wolf. Wolf is going to pick off. Ooh, nice kill by that Ancient Apparition. Realizing he was going to die anyways, went for the kill on the Vengeful Spirit and definitely got the kill there. So despite that was a 1-for-1 trade, and despite the fact that the Scourge, the Sentinel carries got a little bit EXP on ZSMJ, I think it wasn't as bad of a trade for the Scourge team, especially if the Ancient Apparition got the EXP there. And then EXP, again, as I keep stressing, EXP is the name of the game right now for these supports. They need to get a high enough EXP where their spells matter. And right now, A is off to a good part in terms of making his spells damage matter. Podum's still farming it up right now. He's okay. A cool little trick that... oh yeah, let me talk about these two items for a little bit. If you're casting a spell, you would always want to turn to your treads to intelligent, so you could increase your total mana pool, and then you cast your starfall, and then you turn it back to whatever like agility or strength. In essence, you save yourself 10-20 mana, and you'd be thinking, well, Luminous, isn't that like not a big deal at all? Well, normally in most cases it's not really that big of a deal. But have you ever been in a situation where like, hey, you're 10 mana away from like a spell that would kill the enemy team, but because you didn't have that 10 mana, they ran away. It's just a good habit to have, in my opinion. It looks like we have Moonlight Shadow being casted, but Sia being picked off. Actually, Clock coming in, and that Cog not being summoned because realized that he's not going to do too much. Was not really in position to get a really good Cog. See him being picked on a little bit. Let me go into Scourge Vision real fast and look at the vision. They don't have too much, especially this path into the jungle. I think that's where Bat Rider and Lycan came in. They need a little. They definitely need a ward here because they're very vulnerable in this situation, especially if they're trying to protect their Syllabare. It wouldn't be bad to even have a ward here as well. Like if they have 2 wards here, they could definitely easily protect. It looks like we have a blink going on the. Going on the bottom, he needs to start napalming around. There's one napalm, second napalm. He's going to use ult to cancel the TP. Very well done, yes. Or not even the ult, just for the kill, but the flame break just to cancel the TP. So the warding from the Scourge team is a little bit lacking, but they should be okay considering that they have the rocket. They have very good counter ganking spell with the Ancient Ice Blast, or Ice Blast, force the hook as well. A little bit of harassment coming from Windrunner in the mid lane. Force Staff is finished, and a haste rune on her as well. She could actually definitely do a lot of damage. Are we going to see a swap? There's a swap, and there's a stun as well. Ice Blast is going to hit the Windrunner, and actually going for the kill is the Clockwork. It's going to get the kill. He's got the haste rune. No, he doesn't have the haste rune. The Windrunner does, and Windrunner is going to pick off the kill in that regard. Trading 1-for-1 in this case, but definitely went to the favor of Sentinel because the Windrunner picked up kill, the Clockwork went down, and here comes Lycanthrope. Looks like he might be going for a BKB, but you never know. Could be a Basher, could be a Desolator as well. Looks like they are trying to get a kill onto that Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden is fairly tanky for Crystal Maiden as well. Got the Urn picked up, and that Urn very, very nice in terms of healing up that Clockwork after he goes in at the end of the fights. It looks like the Sentinel team is making a dual-man push on the mid lane. I don't think they can, considering that they're up against CM, Ancient Apparition, whose ult is on cooldown momentarily. He's going to be off right now, and he most likely is going to be using it right now. Should be using it right now. Windrunner being very aggressive. Is Shackle Shot onto this tree? No, he's going to miss right now. But he basically he's just forcing the entire, forcing the team away to allow the Lycan to do a little bit more damage. And the tower is going to be claimed by the Glaive Thrower. Very well done by the Sentinel team, getting the tower and not getting denied. And that's giving Xiao A lot of farm time. And Xiao A has not been the focus of the Scourge team. Scourge team at the early outside of the game has done a very good job in terms of killing the Necrolife for a many times. But so far, this Necrolife is going to be okay. As we see, that was actually a bait. Bad Rider comes in, and they are going to get a kill against the Clockwork. Very well done. Here's the Ice Blast. That's going to hit or at least graze these two heroes. But they got to turn back as Potom again not doing enough damage. Lincoln Sphere almost finished, but you gotta keep in mind that Lincoln Sphere is a 5k item goal that gives you 10 damage. Good leap from the Potom. Could get the heck out. One cool tip if you're ever up against Potom and you avenge or have any hero that has a single targeted stun, if you really want to be like, let's say the Potom has like a godlike streak and you really need to kill him or something, consider actually buying a dust. If you buy a dust, pop the dust and then magic missile, you would stun the Potom no matter how good his leaping time is. How leap work? It is a 0.01 second windwalk duration. Of course, if you dust, then that reveals any type of invisibility, windwalk included. Then your magic missile will hit for sure. So that's a little bit cool support tip that you could do. But to be honest, I have never seen anyone that did that aside from I think it was DCCom's Jonasy, or it was a DCCom Laggett. One of the DCCom support player did that, and I saw it and it was like, oh, that's freaking smart. So that's a pretty cool tip in my opinion. Yeah, but going back to that Potom thing, where is that Potom? Let me select him. Does he have Lincoln finish? Not just yet. Arrow is going to miss barely. But yeah, going back to the regen purposes of these two items, since you have double regen, you could say, you know what, I could get away just using Starfall as strength threats. But if, let's say, every 5 or 6 Starfalls that you use in conjunction with your regen, you could get a 6 extra Starfall for free if you just take the second to transition into your intreads. I'm not saying, hey, you know, this player is really bad because he's not doing that, but I'm just saying for the viewers out there that might want to increase your mana efficiency by a little bit, that's something you could consider doing. As we see Necrolite in trouble, getting ganked by 3 or 4, he's going to take the cog, he's going to take the freeze, and yeah, he's going to go down. Who picked up the kill? I have no freaking clue because yeah. Man, what are these tags, guys? You would expect the Chinese people, the Chinese LG players would have those tags that you can't read, but it's MUFC. So, anyways, another cool mana efficiency, mana regen trick that you could do is that, well, not just for Potom in this case, but keep in mind that the Basilius give you constant regen. I think it's constant 0.65, yes, constant 0.65. So if you only have to bring up Basilius, it's always good to keep your treads away from int to lessen your mana pool, make your mana pool smaller, since you're bringing up Basilius regen at a constant rate. But if you have a Lincoln Sphere or Void Stone or Sobi Mask, any type of percent-based regen, then you want to keep your int pool higher, so because it's percent-based. So I hope that made some sense. But in this case, it doesn't really matter for Potom because he's got enough regen to work with and deal with stuff like that. But let's look at how the game's been progressing. I've been talking about a lot of stuff that's not really that detailed in the game. So far, Bad Rider is making his mark in this game. Blink Dagger's in. He's got 3 kills, 6 assists. He's been absolutely everywhere. In terms of actually killing some of the tougher heroes to kill, such as the Potom, such as the Clockwork, and such as Silver. He's actually, look at it, 1800 HP and 15 armor. Like, usually you would say this hero is absolutely difficult to kill. But despite Silver dying a couple of times, we did see a Radiance completed out of nowhere, and that's my fault for not really paying attention to how he's farming. So we have a Shackle Shot against the Silver, but the Spear Bear is the one that's actually doing so much damage to this tower right now. They're actually using a lot of stuns onto Spear Bear. Looks like Windrunner with too low HP to really press onto forward. I think definitely right now the Screech Team has the advantage in the game. In any engagement, or well, maybe not a heads-up engagement, because Lycan is really, really good in terms of heads-up engagement, but any type of pushing, I think the Silver team should have the advantage, especially right after the Radiance finish. That plus 60 damage is absolutely insane, especially if you're going to be amplifying it a little bit with that Demolish against towers. So that's why Silver is definitely a very good item. We do see a plate mail being picked up. That could mean many things. I would guess it's a blade mail and you put it on your hero, because it seems like the LGD team is doing a lot of focus against the hero bear, which if you do, I mean, if you have Blade Mail popped on, it can do quite a bit of damage. As we see, Bad Rider has a BKB finish. Interesting. And now he's going for the clock is invis from the Moonlight Shadow, and that's going to break right now. Potom is going to leap out just fine, I think. Yeah, actually BKB being revealed and also used from the Bad Rider. I'm not sure whether BKB would be the best item in this case. I really am not sure about that, because if you look at the spells that he's up against a freeze bite, which cannot be cast on him if he's under Firefly. He's up against Cold Feet, which is not gonna stun him, as we see a good hook into an AI Splash for the finish, and also a swap from the Venge within the cog. That was cute. Is it going to be a good Shackle Shot? Shackle Shot, not going to do too much of anything. We're actually using a lot of this spell just for the stun time, but they are going to get a kill on him because the Lycan Wolf was coming in. There's a blink in. There's Flaming Lasso. Flaming one more time. Flaming Lasso one more time. You could cast out of... Oh, no. Flaming Lasso gets cancelled immediately, but we have Lycan Wolf coming in. Crystal Maiden, not going to get Shackle Shot upon, but there's a freeze bite. Are we going to see a force stab up the hill? And there we go, Bat Rider comes in, and he's jizzing all over this Crystal Maiden right now without Napalm, and Crystal Maiden is going to go down. Pipe finish, by the way, on the Windrunner. I really need to do a quick item check. My apology for that. We do have a Ultimate Orb being picked up on the Necrolite, and he does have 2k gold, but I can't do item checks because there's engagement going on in before Chinese games are being... farming oriented, as we see 16 to 17 score right now. Yes, Ultimate Orb being picked up very close to his Mystic Staff as well. 3,200 gold on the Lycanthrope, as well as the BKB completed. Pipe and Force Stab being completed on the Windrunner. Venge does not have anything as expected. Blink Dagger BKB. I'll go back to the BKB as I have the time in a bit. Crystal Maiden at Urn and going for maybe Power Threat. Potom has nothing. Has a Blade of Alacrity. Probably going for that... Yasha, but he doesn't do enough damage really. He's gonna have the Yasha finish momentarily. Clockwork, most severe defensive item, and that's really all he needs for the rest of the game. Of course, he could pick up like Aga Scepter, pick up Radiance if he. Well, he's not gonna pick up Radiance, but because the Celebrator has it, and because that's really more or less a very luxury build, if you will. He's going to go for mostly tanking item and maybe even utility items that help out his team. And then Force Stab completed on the Ancient Apparition. And if you look at the item comparisons, right, there's a Mecha completed on the Sentinel, and there's no Mecha completed on Scourge. Neither team has the Django, but I would think the Scourge will get up to the Django a lot quicker. The thing is, they don't have a good mecha buyer. CM could buy the mecha, yes. The Ancient Apparition could buy the mecha, yes. But none of them is getting the farm. And that's the issue. In more long drawn out engagement, you cannot underestimate the constant 4 or 5 HP regen that the mecha provides you. You cannot underestimate the burst regen, the burst armor. That's absolutely huge. Even though the entire Scourge team is more magical based, having extra armor is never a bad thing, to maybe survive against an extra physical hit or two, never a bad thing. So the fact that the Sentinel has mecha and the Scourge team does not have mecha could make the team fight a little bit problematic for the Scourge team. Sentinel team could go for the Roshan if they want to. They could have the Bad Rider Necrolite camp around and send the Lycan in by himself between Medallion Courage and Terror. Should be a very easy time in terms of killing Roshan, but they're not gonna do it. Instead, they're gonna try to push down this mid tower, which might prove to be a little bit difficult. Inverter is Invis. This Invis rune is running out. Let's see if it's gonna get a 2-man shackle and initiate a team fight like that. But it's gonna be difficult in terms of initiating against the Surge. Not so much, It's not like, they have a Black Hole or Echo Slam or anything like that. It's going to be difficult in terms of running past this Bear, because it's going to be constantly canceling out the Dagger, and you got to be careful in terms of the Clock Hook in and the AI Splash if you clump ever so much. It looks like we have the AI Splash going to hit everyone on the Sentinel team, at least prevent the regen. Looks like we have the Flaming Lasso coming against the Syllabare. Syllabare gets dusted right now. He's taking so much damage. He's getting ulted as well, and he's actually fine. Crystal Maiden dropping a huge ult, and that's going to slow the chase from everyone. Clockwork now in the center of everything. He gets stunned right now, but now here comes the Potom. He does have the Yasha, and it looks like no one has died right now. Xiao 8 has died. It looks like ZSMJ has got the kill right now. Venge is going to just run out right now, but we have the Syllabare Radiance damage. And are we going to have a Hook in though? I think Hook might be on cooldown right now. Let me check. Hook is on cooldown right now. Are we going to keep Radiance chasing and then Rocket for sight and try to kill the Bat Rider like that? It's going to take forever. No, he's going to Firefly, and that should be fine. We're going to have Hook in. No, Hook is still on cooldown at the moment. And we have the Vengeful Spirit running on the bot path, and he's going to be fine as well. No, Lone DD dies to a Potom Arrow, I assume, because I apologize for missing that. Dies to a Potom Arrow, and that is going to give the Scourge the Aegis, I think, unless the Sentinel team act very quickly, as we see the AI Blast actually going to miss again. Venge is going to turn back because she realized that the Roshan attempt is being engaged right now. And this is looking very, very bad for LGD SGT, right? Just LGD in Reno, not SGTY anymore, because that's a little bit of sponsor issue. Can they claim the Roshan? If the Syllabare gets the Aegis, that might be a pretty bad lose, or maybe they're going to give the Aegis to the bottom, but most likely it's to Syllabear, because Syllabear is constantly the first focus for the Scourge team. Yes, Syllabear picks up the Aegis. Now, Syllabear's got to be careful about two things. Aegis does not reset the cooldown of your spells. More importantly, it does not reset the cooldown of your Spirit Bear summon. And you gotta know, Spirit Bear has, I think, like a 200 cooldown, ridiculously high amount of cooldown. So if you lose your Syllabear, if you lose your Spirit Bear, and then you resummon it, and then you die as your hero, and then, well, actually, I take that back. I think if you have the Aegis and your hero dies, your Spirit Bear does not automatically die. So yes, that's how he has to be. That's how it works. So he doesn't have to worry about that. The second thing he has to worry about is that when you come back alive with your bear through the Aegis, you are out of true form. So he gotta spam F very quickly to go into Spirit Bear form, or else he's gonna be 1200 HP, no armor, and a range hero, and gets focused down very easily. I like the fact that he's recognizing that there's a huge amount of minus armor on the enemy team, so he's picking up Plate Mail. He's going for AC. That's okay. He's going for a very late game item choice. That's where the Plate Mail, I guess a Hybrid Stone on his Spirit Bear as well. Where is his bear right now? Bear, yes, Bear has a Hybrid Stone and a Chainmail. So going for AC, and that actually might be somewhat of an issue for the Sentinel. Yes, Sentinel does have quite a bit of minus armor, but not enough to actually outdo AC. AC gives you 15 plus armor. I think 5 armor aura for your team, if I don't remember that incorrectly. Of course, minus 5 armor aura for your enemy, plus like 20 speed plus 20 attack speed aura for your team as well. So just definitely a very good item for a tanky hero such as Syllabear. And also you want to buff up your enemy team. Looks like they're going to try to get a top push. Sentinel looking in a very defensive position. I'm not too sure whether they could. I'm not as confident whether LGD could win this game at all, as this Spirit Bear looking quite unstoppable right now. There is AC finish on the other side as well by the Lycanthrope. So both teams counteracting each other with the AC. They're going to try to focus down on the Spear, and Bear might be in trouble as we see the Bat Rider flying in. The tower has gone down to the background. They're going to focus down the Spear Bear, or maybe he has just miskicked. That's definitely more likely as the case here, as we see the Bat Rider needs to get out. Potom actually dodges it with his Moonlight Shadow, and they're going to focus on Potom. Potom's going to go down, and he was a little bit out of position as we see Lycan going down as well. Xiao A focusing on the right people at right time. He might have got a kill through his aura right now. Syllabear goes down as well, and he's going to be respawning in the center of 5 Sentinel hero in true form, and you can see his HP down going down so very quickly. 3 kills going down. Wow, I take it back completely. Somehow, someway, LGD was able to initiate perfectly, had the Bat Rider tank so much damage, and I think that's BKB had a huge part in it, not just for dodging the cold feed, not just for dodging the freeze bite, but just dodging spell a lot. Like against this spell heavy team, the BKB gave himself a lot of magic, a lot more survivability, a lot more effective HP, and that might seem like a very odd way to look at things, but that's in fact how to work. And he initiated on, he took so much damage, was still able to make it out alive. And you got to keep in mind that team fight went that way, and he after he lassoed a Spirit Bear. Like, imagine if he lassoed the correct hero, that would have been even more devastating. As you see a swap going on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden's going to get Magic Missile to death. No, a single bite from the Lycan just ate that Crystal Maiden alive. And that was such a quick transition around. I'm not going to lie. Definitely, I think, in my opinion, Scourge team had the advantage, but a single team fight turned around. Not enough buyback being prepared by MUFC, so a little bit of mistake on their end as well. And that was a couple more kills. That was a mid-racks attempt, and this game just got ridiculously hard for the Scourge team. Yes, they can still win. Let's not forget about that, but it's going to be difficult to win against the insane pushing power of Lycanthrope, a good initiative potion of Venge. I'm really also very impressed with Venge's swap play this game. Definitely a lot more swap than we usually see from most Venges. Or you could look at it, maybe it's just these Scourge players a little bit more out of position. There's always one or the other. Syllabear is going to be finishing his AC, and he's going to leave it on the Bear, which I'm not sure about that. I think the hero is a little bit more important right now because most of the fights they're gonna lob a couple of spells on the bear and that's it. I think most of the focus is going to still go on the lone druid hero themselves, especially if he's really the only legit focus target on the Scourge team. You're not going to try to focus on the bottom because he's got the Lincolns, he's got the leap, he's got the mana, he's got quite a bit of survival. I think focus on the Syllabear, even though he has a lot of HP, is still better than focusing on the bottom. And of course, you're not going to waste your Flaming Lasso on a Crystal Maiden or a Clock or Ancient Aberration. So I think having any extra armor, any extra survivability on your Lone Druid is gonna be the best. But we'll see. I mean, maybe he cares a lot about his beer, and it's always good to care about your pet, I suppose. Meanwhile, let's look at what Sentinel's got. Sentinel's got a 4-staff on that Bat Rider, Hex Finish on the Necrolite, and also Plate Mail being completed on the Necrolite. He's going for Shivas, a little bit more away, about 1,000 go away from the Shivas being finished. We do have ZSMJ absolutely dominating this game. He does have 3,500 gold in the bank. He's most likely saving for buyback, or he's going to go for maybe Heart or Reaver in this case. It really doesn't matter after a certain point what item you're going to go for. Like unless you get just a completely dumb item, most item on Lycan is ridiculously good. Now, considering that the Lycan still does not have an orb effect, two late game item he could maybe think about is a Mjolnir or a Critical Strike. You notice I didn't say anything like, a Heart or anything, because really, I'll save it for the Dota Weekly show. That is the next item comparison. I was comparing a Butterfly, a Mjolnir, and a Bariza. And of course, not for agility heroes. What am I even saying? Of course, comparing the Butterfly on agility hero to Mjolnir to Bariza. And the result, it was rather surprising. So I'll leave it at that for the next Dota Weekly show. You could watch it for a little bit of mechanic as we see a huge focus on that Syllabear. Syllabear half HP right now, eats an ult there as well. Is going to go down. Crystal Maiden drops a pretty good ult there, but you can see that the Sentinel heroes are still alive right now. ZSMJ being focused within that cog, but he is tank as heck with that AC. Gonna go down regardless, but that is going to allow the entire team to focus down on the AAA goes down. Double kill being picked up. Buyback goes off to the Lycanthrope. Buyback goes back on the Ancient Aberration. Are they going to keep running? No. ZSMJ is going to defend bot right now as his team is going to claim the top racks. 4-for-3 exchange. 4-for-3. No. 1-for-3 exchange, as we saw a little bit buyback there. But they need to focus on the racks. Remember, stop chasing Rio. Just focus on the racks. Potom trying to whatever he could do to defend. Forced to leap out because the Venge is... Oh, there's a swap going on as well. Potom, no more leap out there, but no more ult from the Necrolite either. Are we going to have a blink in? There's a 4-staff him. There's a Flaming Lasso. And they are going to focus down on the Ancient Aberration. This game is all but over for LGD because this Lycan is still very much so tanky. He's using the wolf form. He's going for MKB, which is not a bad TPS item at all by any means. So yes, the game is as good as over. But the Mjolnir actually does a lot of damage as an item. So again, I'll talk about it in my Dota Weekly show, which you can find it on my YouTube channel for some of my non-frequent viewers, but no big deal. Looks like LGD is finishing the game. I think the issue for I don't want to say MUFC played back because they definitely didn't. I was quite impressed with their clock play. Got themselves a very good advantage. Syllabear got big. Like he definitely got big, and there was a very good chance of them winning the game. And then that top team fight, it was some of the better initiation I've seen from LGD from a long time. They isolated the correct target, which was a Syllabear. Again, shame on DD lassoing on the wrong target. I really think he should put the AC on the freaking Syllabear, on the Lone Druid, excuse me, because like it don't matter if your spare bear stays alive if your hero's dead, right? So that's the issue here. As we see a lot of focus going on the Potom, and Potom is going to go down. Does Potom have buyback? Is the question. Potom does not have buyback, and that's the game. Because and also very good move from I think the Scourge players, Sentinel players, excuse me, saving for buyback. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they lost the fight here, but would have been able to buy back and then teleport back and to continue to fight for LGD. Generally, LGD very good in terms of keeping the buyback. As we see a double 4-staff and a swap and a hex going on this Syllabear. And again, focus goes on the Syllabear. armor not on him, but that was a pretty good clock though. As we see the focus goes on. Come on, focus. Oh, there's a ghost scepter on him. That's why he was not focusing on the clock right now. This team fight was going absolutely every. Revenge has gone down. ZSMJ chasing. There's a power shot cutting off the head of that clockwork. Looks like Wimren might be a little bit out of position, but the Bat Rider flamed absolutely everywhere. Looks like Silver somehow actually survived that and get onslaught thanks to a very good clock from his clockwork. Very well done there. And they're actually a hero ahead, but these guys need to turn back. You got to keep in mind that they fought that fight without their bottom, so you got to imagine how much better off they would have if they had their bottom. There's a 4-staff hex, but right now, because they're just the disadvantage against them is just so high, we have LGD claiming the last racks against Mega Creeps, and that really is a game. They are dragging the Ancient Apparition around, and that's yet another kill. This Bat Rider just reminded us how strong this hero is, as we see GG is being called. He definitely has not been as much play lately. Sometimes he's making it up to the ban. Actually, most of the time he's making it on the ban. But when he's played, he is very devastating. You can see that this game, 5-3-15, initiating, isolating, just doing an exceptional job in terms of just killing heroes. So very, very well done. Also, he was he was the central part of many important ganks, such as against the bottom, such as against the Silver Bear, which are difficult to kill heroes. So he was there. Very good transition from ZSMJ. Very impressive play. How he went to the enemy jungle and slowed down his farm, but still ganked the Silver Bear with like a level 5 and that's impressive. Or at least good recognition of where he needs to be at the correct place at the correct time. Finally, for the Scourge team, I don't know about this build. I really don't. The DPS, I felt like this game was played without the bottom. It was mostly 4v5. So I'm not really a big fan of this build. If you're gonna go phase speed instead of the treads, it gives you a lot more damage to work with, and that's where Misery excels with this build. He goes with the Manta style, sometimes SMY after that. But I felt like bottom just did not do enough work this game. But really, I think the MVP of Scourge is definitely the Clockwork. Gave his team such a huge advantage. Despite that, they weren't having the best early game. That this Clockwork was absolutely everywhere. Got enough farm for his Silver Bear. Got enough room for the Silver Bear to farm up to his Radiance, and that was really good. But that one team fight and the lack of damage from bottom, I want to blame that on. Just really, really well done from LG overall. So good game, good showing for both teams. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. I will be back. Let's see when I will be back. I will be back this Friday. Yes, I will be back this Friday, and it's going to be IG.Y versus MUFC, and that should be a very good match as well. Same time as usual. Is it 14 CET? Yes, 14 CET for European time. If you're in the States, it is going to be 5 a.m. in the West Coast, 8 a.m. in the East Coast. So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and this is Luminous representing MYM TV. As always, this is Luminous signing off. GG, guys. Gonna stick around to answer some questions in IRC, so I'm gonna shut down the stream right now, but I'm gonna be back immediately.